Fourscore and 7 years ago, our forefathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
I didn't have to say anything, man. Just had to say it with eye line.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
G or D?
That's D.
Oh, so it's G, D,
G. You get a line, I'll get a pole. C. Go down to the crawdad hole. G, honey, oh, D, be mine.
G. You gonna sing?
What?
You gonna sing?
I don't know what to sing.
You get a line, I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line, I'll get a pole, baby. You get a line, I'll get a pole. We'll go down the crawdad hole, honey, oh, baby, mine. What's gonna do a creek runs dry, honey? What's gonna do a creek runs dry, baby? What's gonna do a creek runs dry? So back what's crawdads fly, honey, oh, baby, mine. Woo!
What does the Medal of Honor mean to me? The Medal of Honor represents the love that I have for my country and the love that I have for my brothers, because I'm not big, bad, and brave, but I do love my brothers, and that's why I swim across the river to get them. I believe that I do have a responsibility to the medal and all that it represents, and all who represent the Medal of Honor. And I do my very best to travel all over America, trying to encourage America to stand up for what you believe is right in your heart. That's another thing I believe that this medal represents, is the patriotism, the love that goes into doing that. And I would hope that it would inspire other young men and women to stand up for what they believe is right and help their families and help America. That's my greatest hope. So you don't lose till you quit trying, and I want everybody to understand that no matter what you're faced with in life, you don't lose until you quit trying. Well, Johnston Dunlap encouraged me to play the Shenandoah in Vietnam. He wasn't in artillery, he was in infantry, but because we worked together almost on a daily basis, I seen Johnston Dunlap a lot. And he would always act, he'd go, "You got it, Sam? Play it." So I'd sit there and I'd play Shenandoah for him. Sergeant Dunlap was killed in Vietnam, and when we dedicated the wall in Washington, D.C., I took my harp, I took the original harp then, touched Johnston's name, and said, "Brother, I'm going to play Shenandoah for you one more time." In Vietnam, I prayed, I won't say with every breath, but I prayed a lot, because I had learned that it's appropriate and proper to pray and ask the one above to help you be better, stronger, smarter, wiser. And I did. I prayed to him often, real often, and I made it. What happened on November the 18th, 1967? We were out on operation. We were supporting a big move the infantry was having. We didn't realize how big an operation this was, because it was just like any other day. We thought at 2 o'clock in the morning, we were hit by a reinforced battalion of North Vietnamese. And I was the lead gun from the direction they were coming from. So I was the one that started firing beehive rounds at them, and it was doing its job, but they That's where we didn't realize how many they were, because I thought the beehive wasn't working. 200-300 at a time would come running at us. After we fired all of the rounds out of the howitzer that we had, then I started using the M16, and I had about 180 rounds and started doing my job as a soldier. I had a white phosphorus round left. I had some specialty artillery rounds, and I thought, well, maybe I can fire them. So I loaded them up, and when I fired it, they fired a RPG and hit my gun, blew me up, blew me off the gun, knocked me unconscious. I was laying half in and half out of my foxhole, and the next gun behind me, our guns, they thought the enemy was trying to turn my howitzer around to fire at them, and they didn't want that to happen. So they thought we were all dead, which we were not. We were all wounded, but we weren't dead. And they fired the beehive round over, and that's how I got hit by the beehive round. But when the beehive round hit me, it woke me up, and I rolled over into my foxhole. I can remember laying face up in my foxhole with ears were blown up. I couldn't hear nothing, and I could see all these pretty lights, red, white, even blue. Some of the communist tracers were blue. So I had all these pretty lights come, but I didn't dawn on me what they were for a minute. Well, then after I laid there for a while, then my hearing started coming back to the point that I could hear the rifle fire. I could hear the grenade fire. I could hear the mortar rounds going off. I was wounded. I had 30 beehive on my back. I'd gotten shot in the right thigh with an AK-47. I overloaded the howitzer on one of the first shots after I woke up, and it had rolled over me and broke my back, crushed my ribs on the right side. And so I decided I wouldn't put that much powder in them again. After a while, I could see a man across the road or across the canal from me. He would jump up and wave his boonie hat, and then when I paid attention to him, I could kind of hear him say, "Don't shoot, I'm a GI." And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't fire the howitzer anymore. So I thought, well, I better go get him. So I found my air mattress. I slid off into the water, and when I got to the other side, I thought, well, I better hide the air mattress. I don't want the enemy to find it. So I hid it underneath the bushes and crawled up the bank, and there was a foxhole, and it was a big foxhole, and there were 3 men in it. And it was Gwendell Holloway, Billy Ray Crawford, and Jim Deister. And they said, Deister's dead. So I put Jim Deister up across my shoulders and picked up Billy Ray, picked up Gwendell, and started making our way back to the water's edge. Now, Gwendell still had just a few, 2 or 3 clips left, and I had his gun. And when the enemy gave us too much fire, I would lay the guys down, and then I would do my job as a soldier, and then pick the guys back up and keep moving. We made it to the bank. I think I brought Jim Deister across first because we thought he was dead. Jim was alive, but no heartbeat. We couldn't detect a heartbeat. When I got to the bank, some of my guys pulled, well, it was Bill Murray and Frank Gage that pulled him up out of the water. And I went back across. Gwendell and Billy Ray could both hang on to that air mattress. Billy Ray had lost part of one of his legs, but the rest of his body was, he had shrapnel wounds and stuff, but he was fair. Gwendell had been shot, but he was doing fair. And I pulled him back across, and once again, my guys jumped in the water and helped get him out. And I was about 10 foot from the bank, and my job was done. And I was so tired and hurt so much, and I just let my body, and I started sinking in the water. The deeper that I got, I could feel the cool. I still remember how cool that water felt. It just felt so good. And then it was like somebody picked me up and was holding me up above the water. And it was, I thought, a Roman soldier, because he had the helmet and the breastplate, and was holding me 10 foot up out of the water. And I'm, wow. And he said, my son, your job isn't done yet. And he laid me back in the water. And so I swam to the bank and got out and joined the guys and did what I could to help until the enemy broke contact about 8 o'clock in the morning. And by that point, I'd lost a lot of blood, was feeling really weak. And I can remember sitting on some sandbags. Why do I hurt so bad? man, his body was just, man, hurting really bad. And I couldn't see, I was expecting to see big bullet holes or something. And all I had was just little trickles of blood running down everywhere. And now I know it was the beehive that went through and just made little bitty tiny holes, but you don't lose till you quit trying. I passed out, woke up in the hospital in Canton, Japan. They were going to retire me from the Army and send me home. And General Westmoreland allowed me to go back to be with my brothers because I needed to touch my brothers because I had just passed out. You know, I didn't know what happened, and it worked out great. One of the things that I realized in my heart, that the probability of the fact that the reason why I'm still alive today is because my job isn't done yet. So I keep doing my job every day that I can. I keep doing the very best I can, and I'm still here. So thank you, sir, and I'll keep doing my job, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
All right, where are we headed to?
Vietnam Veterans Memorial, the wall.
All right, what are we doing there?
I don't know.
When I met you boys a year or two ago, you touched my heart and inspired me, and I'm glad that you fell into it and are following through on it, and I'm proud of you. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.